Okay, so I want to take the time in the intro of this video to just go ahead and apologize to Art the Clown. Because the reason I never watched this franchise, the reason I never decided to indulge in this foolishness is because all the clips that I saw from the first two Terrifier movies was this dude just running around fucking with people going, just being absolutely dumb. And I'm just like, there's no way this guy is, like, are we supposed to take him seriously? There's no way this guy is scary. There's no way this is something that is supposed to be taken as like a real horror franchise. Well, excuse the fuck out of me, because this is the first movie that I've watched. The Terrifier 3. This is the first one of this franchise I've watched, and I sincerely apologize. I did not realize that you actually take your craft this seriously. Killing, I truly thought when it came to like Michael, like let me get my words together. The famous serial killers, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Kruegers, the Jason Voorhees. I mean, I thought they had an art. Or the Ghostface. I thought they had a certain particular way about killing, but this guy, this guy here, he's just overdoing it at this. It's overkill, and he is enjoying every fucking second of it. This movie had my stomach in complete knots. Guys, let's just go ahead and get this over with so I never have to even think nor talk about this movie again. This is my review for Terrifier 3. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Terrifier 3, starring Lauren Lavera, Samantha Scadafi, David Howard Thornton, Elliot Fulham, and it was directed by Damien Leone. And our story just follows, as simply as I can put it, this sadistic-ass clown who comes back to life and has this even more sadistic ass partner named Victoria. She's undead, and basically what they do is they just rain hell on a bunch of kids, children, women, men, any grandpa, grandma, anybody. It doesn't really matter. Everybody can get it. You don't really need to know much else about this plot, because the plot to the movie is ridiculously dumb. But I don't think these movies are necessarily made for, convoluted and, well thought out plots. I think these movies are literally just made for the blood and gore. And there are people out there who are getting upset because the only thing a lot of people are coming out of this movie talking about is the use of the blood and gore. And they're trying to be like, well, why don't you think deeper into it? There's so much more to this movie than just the blood and gore. You must think deeper. You must think more. No, keep all that. If you show somebody this movie, what else are they supposed to see? It's hard not to see it. There are things in this movie I want to unsee, but I can't. It is stuck in my brain now, and it'll be there for a very long time. This was a traumatizing experience. And before I go further into my review for this film, I want to be very clear. This is not a bad movie. When it comes to horror movies and what the goal of a horror movie is supposed to do, which necessarily is freak you out, terrify you, scare you, just send goosebumps down your spine, make you very disturbed, whatever the case may be, the job of a horror movie, this movie, let me make sure I put that correctly, but what the job of a horror movie is, this movie overdid the work. This movie did the work, but they overdid it immensely. So that's why I'm saying this is not a bad movie at all. The plot is very dumb, but I don't think these movies are necessarily made for a convoluted, well thought out plot. It's just a movie that needs something so that just dumb killing and ridiculous shit can happen. That's fine. But this is not a bad movie whatsoever, because when it comes to what a horror movie is supposed to do, what a horror movie is supposed to be, this movie is that. This movie is freaky. This movie is traumatizing. This movie is absolutely disturbing. It is gut-wrenching. It is rippling. It is just, oh my God, excruciatingly painful to sit through at times, and for good reasons, I guess. I mean, if you want to just be traumatized and fucked up for the rest of your life, it's for good reasons for that, I guess, but it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, and I continue to keep saying that, but the thing about it is I really can't watch any more of these. I can't do it again. I'm sorry. There's a line that I feel like just needs to be drawn, And this movie crossed it. For me personally, I am a huge horror fan. It is my second favorite genre. I don't necessarily have a problem with blood and gore in movies. I really think it's cool in some aspects when it's used in creative ways. I thought I was on board for a lot of shit in the horror world, but now I'm drawing a line. I have to cut it off at some point. Terrifier 3 is that line, and I'm good on the other two. I need people to stop recommending to me watch the other two. I'm never doing that. It's not happening. I can't, because if there's things even remotely close to some of the kills that happen in this movie happening in those other ones, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need it. I am all right. Art the Clown has proved his point. As far as I'm concerned, this motherfucker done kicked Michael Myers off the Mount Rushmore of Hall of Fame Halloween characters. Art the Clown needs to be there. He has earned my respect. You got it. You, bro. I don't even know what to say. There are scenes in this movie that are just unnecessarily gruesome. Like, and that's really the only unnecessary is truly the way to describe it. And I'm going to get into minor spoilers here just for a quick second, because there's a scene that everybody's been talking about as far as the shower scene, where the guy uses a chainsaw to do his business. And if you've seen the movie, you understand. Minor spoilers. This dude uses a chainsaw to go straight up a man's asshole into his back and flips him over, and then just goes right up his balls, right to the middle of his stomach. He is dead. He is more than dead at that point. You are just doing that to a corpse and just smiling about it. No. And then there is another scene in this movie. There's another scene in this movie where his sadistic helper, Victoria, this chick, while Art the Clown is killing somebody, this chick takes a big ass piece of glass and decides to finger her cooch with it, and she's it's unnecessary. I didn't need that. You can't give me a reasonable explanation as to why I needed all that to happen. Then there's a scene with some rats, but that wasn't like the worst thing in this movie. But look, like I said, it's not a bad movie whatsoever. It's not. It's just, there are just some points in everybody's lives where you can just say, you know what, this ain't for me. Terrifier is not for me. This is not a series for me. This man Art has absolutely just no soul whatsoever. There's joy. Like, to smile so eerily throughout these acts that you are doing is just something I am just really gonna draw. I just have to call it. I gotta call it quit. I'm like, you know what? I can't. You sir are the truth. You are the real deal. But you have gone to extreme lengths to prove it, and you can keep all that shit. I don't need it. I don't need it anywhere near me. Now, the performances in this movie actually aren't as bad as I thought. Like, there are some points in times where they really try to do some very emotional parts of the movie. Those don't really work that well. But, I mean, honestly, when it comes to those moments in the movie, you're still trying to get over what you saw in the scene previously. It really doesn't even matter. But the performances in this movie actually aren't bad. But like I said, this thing plot-wise is very dumb. The last 25 minutes of this movie is some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in a horror movie whatsoever. And it's for a multiple plethora of reasons. One, plot-wise, they just throw a bunch of shit at you. This movie, by the end of this movie, the last 25 minutes goes completely off the rails and just does a whole bunch of random shit that happens off screen that would have been nice to see, because you were showing us a bunch of shit already anyway, but so much shit happens off screen. Then the last 25 minutes, they expect you to believe all these pivotal characters are dead, and then I'm like, wait a second, what? How did we get here? This all just happened just immediately, and then it's just more gross stuff is happening, and then it just gets into like the supernatural aspects of things, and this movie goes all over the place, and that could be to the point where I've never seen one of these movies before, so I don't know how these third acts are supposed to go, but this one completely just went off the rails and did whatever the fuck it wanted to. But this movie is brave. This movie has balls. And it does whatever it needs to shove the balls in your mouth and make you gag on them and make you just completely have a traumatic experience. I'm traumatized from watching this movie, seriously. And when I lied to you not, guys, my stomach was in knots for the last hour. I have never had stomach issues watching a film. I have never truly been just so disturbed, so grossed out, so just completely just, it's never happened to me before. Even if you were to close your eyes and just listen to the movie, the sound effects themselves, just the repeated stabbing and then you hear the blood getting gushier and gushier, and it's ridiculous. It is very creative. I've never seen anything like this before. It is a once in a lifetime experience. It is just something I don't need to ever experience again. Y'all can keep this motherfucker art locked away in a tower somewhere. They're planning on making 2 more of these movies. I'm good, bro. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I'm good. Like it just completely freaked me out. I'm not even good with clowns. I don't like clowns. Truly scare me, and I think that is a big reason of why it took me a while to watch this franchise as well, because I don't like clowns. And I was thinking maybe after I watched this movie, it would make me want to go back and watch the other 2. I'm good, though. I'm good. Pennywise the clown ain't got shit on this dude, bro. I lied to you not. Bill Skarsgård really ain't got shit on this motherfucker. I mean, Bill Skarsgård's got a lot more facial expressions than this motherfucker, but that's just about it. And the other thing about Art the Clown that completely freaks me out, he has no limits on what weapons he will use for his kills. I mean, everyone has a limit. Michael Myers has a knife. Ghostface has a knife. Freddy Krueger's got his claws. Jason Voorhees guy has his machete. The Texas Chainsaw guy has his chainsaw. This motherfucker will use every weapon that he can possibly find and then just use explosive. He uses guns. He has no limits. A guy like that does not need to be dealt with. A guy like that does not need to be let loose. A guy like that does not need 5 movies. Really, let's just wrap this up as soon as humanly possible. A guy like that does not need to be fucked with whatsoever. So again, Art the Clown, you have earned all of my respect. You got it. You completely you can have it, brother. I am not doing this again, though. I cannot watch another one of these movies, and it has nothing to do with truly. Me saying this, I'm thinking to myself, if I was going to say this about this movie, it was because it was going to be really bad, and the performances are just trash, and all they really do care about is the blood, gore, and guts, which isn't necessarily the case. Like, this movie is definitely handled with care, and this movie is generated towards a very strict audience, a sickly strict audience. But hey, to each their own. I can see why people like this franchise. For people that enjoy these movies, more power to you. I'm fucking good, though. I'm okay. But for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I wasn't even sure what to rate this movie. It's not bad. So it's not below a 3. But I really don't know. It's not a 5. It's not 5 stars. It's just not rated. And this reason being is just because I don't know I didn't know what to do with this movie. Please, just never again. I never again want to go through this, but check it out if you want. I don't know. Okay, guys, so Terrifier 3. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.